Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the new edition
So you were actually thinking
episode.
do I know which how many we did of those? No, I don't. So this is the new one.
I think it's 25, but I'm not sure. So the meep number of this weird vlog. So another week has gone by, and we did stuff.
No.
Right?
Oh.
Okay, bye. No. What did we do? Let me think.
I mean, typically there's actually some structure emerging for this vlog. So let's start.
Art games other.
Let's start with the art stuff. What did
Yeah.
you do this week?
I did things I cannot tell yet because they're going to be published in a couple of weeks. But what I did publish was the board game box that I did for you.
And I just heard published, but go on.
Maybe you want to put the coffee into your ears and not into your mouth to waken them up as well.
I'm not drinking coffee. I will be silent. Please refer to for art stuff.
So
Go.
So I really you're so bad. So I published the game box, the board game box, which was again more of a crafting project than art regarding painting project. And it was fairly easy to make. I did struggle a teensy bit with the glue for the inner workings of one of the boxes. Because apparently only the glue that is for gluing down stone when you build a house or whatever, or some interior, only that works with the wood. And not the wooden, not the glue that I have that specifically says, oh, this works great with wood. No. So that was actually the only thing that bugged me while I did the box. And anything else, it just went smooth. It was fairly easy. I didn't have to build a lot. It was really just painting the boxes and putting that bit of interior into the one box, sawing the wooden pieces, which he did because he doesn't trust me with the saw. Although I'm fairly good at it, but he's worried, so he did that for me.
And we're talking about electrical saw, so there's no margin for error in terms of, oh, I cut my finger a little bit. It's like I cut my finger and then that's it. So I'm not taking any risks.
I just need these 5 and this thumb. Anything else is fine. No, really. I was not in the mood to argue with him. So I said, okay, come up to the hottest place on earth, my studio, and do the work if you want it. Yeah. So that was a fairly simple project. And then I did publish another art journal page, the 2 watch-along videos, one that is real-time and narrated me talking about what I did and what supplies I use and how and why I do what on the page and what I want to achieve. And then also the time-lapsed unnarrated version of that. And you can actually count on having these kind of videos uploaded every Monday. I decided early last week that I would publish all of my art journal pages that I do with a watch-along video, and I'm gonna publish them every Monday. So
Cool.
yeah. Now I only have to narrate the one for tomorrow, which I produced the page this week, but I did not do the voiceover yet. So I gotta do that later tonight and edit everything, upload it, and then do the time-lapsed version as well. Yeah. That was my working week.
So then we come to the second part of this.
We're so quick. So here's the second and...
The gaming part.
Yeah, the important, not most important, but very important part of the week, which is relieving our brains from work stuff and worrying and just whatever.
I think last time we promised that this time we would be talking about Machina Arcana.
Yeah, because we played it more.
Yeah, funny enough, but since making the last video, I don't think we played it.
Oh yeah, we played it Sunday night with the guys.
Oh right, yeah. I thought
we did
for
the
some
video
reason,
before.
I thought for some reason that was on Saturday, but yeah. So just to give a general impression, Machina Arcana is a cooperative dungeon crawler with some random elements in there, and it essentially is set in a world very close to H.P. Lovecraft's mythos with Cthulhu and all the tentacle monsters that he happens to come up with, and stuff that haunts you in your nightmares and so on.
So it could also be a wife, not only a monster.
Probably. Yeah. And that combined with a steampunk flavor, so everybody is picking a character that who actually has a little piece of backstory, starting attributes, and they all look very steampunky because you always know they're steampunky if they're wearing hats and have fly goggles on.
And
on
gears
top of the head.
everywhere.
And gears, yeah, very important hat gears.
Yeah.
But it's looking really, really amazing.
Yeah.
The illustration work on the game for the monsters and for the explorers is terrific. It's really nice.
Really gorgeous.
Really draws you into that world, and it's all in a what was it? Pergament.
Yeah, it's the flimsy Egyptian paper in sepia color with black ink. Yeah. That's what the artwork looks like in all of the books that come with the game that explain the characters and the monsters more in depth, and also in the rule book and on the cards and everything. So the style is the same through the whole game.
It's very evocative of being an explorer, finding very old documents. I think the only thing that's missing there is as if they had petroleum scented paper in there, just to make it feel even more Machina Arcana like. So these explorers are roughly sorted into different classes. You have bruisers for close combat, but not really. It's more like a tank class. Then there's crafters,
the gunmen,
and
mysterious
and mystics.
Yeah. And
I think that's the four. That's
four or five. And if we miss one, it's fairly similar to one of the other.
The
groups.
The default game. So the default set is I think 9 explorers, but since this has been a Kickstarter campaign and unfortunately not released apparently soonish in any retail store, that came with I think a total of 14 explorers.
Yeah, 5 more.
Yeah.
So some bonus levels and extended scenery scenarios.
Which brings us to how the game is played. So essentially, at the beginning of the game, you pick a scenario, which consists of a number of chapter cards. And depending on how long you want to play, you can remove or add these chapter cards. You can play a full session over, let's say, 3 to 4 hours easily. Or you can take some of these cards out, and essentially almost all those chapter cards mean you have to find a place on the board activated, and then you can advance to the next chapter. But by doing that, you exhaust that board piece, and you have to discover a new tile. So the entire game board, I think it's 12 by 12 or 16 by 16.
Inches or centimeters?
No, squares.
Oh, squares.
I think it's...
I guess 12.
Yeah, something like that. So the entire board consists of tiles, which are almost pretty much
Map
like
tiles,
this
yeah.
big, and the game is supposed to happen on up to 4 of those, and you start exploring, adding new tiles to that one, and once you go over
To the next map
to the
tile,
next
you
one.
scroll.
It's
pretty
like
much.
it's like a scrolling mechanism, not unlike roguelikes do on video games or any other scrolling, like side scrollers do that. Which in fact allows you to get rid of some of the monsters chasing you if you are quicker than them, and doing some interesting other stuff.
Yeah.
But-
and it just also is very good if you don't have the hugest table on the planet.
Yeah.
You can you don't expand the game board to, I don't know, a meter by 2 meters, but you keep it pretty much on the same size. Which is just, when you play the game, it's pretty nice that you don't have to rearrange your whole living room around the game just because.
Yeah. And these are very much randomized, so
They have 2 sides of each board has 2 sides, and you draw them randomly and blindly. And what we do is that somebody says you have 6 map tiles left, somebody says a number between 1 and 6 and then says up and or down, and then you just draw the map tile and add it to your board.
Well, I guess the rules actually say once a tile has been used, you have to add it on the bottom. So that I guess there's some way of going through them. But in terms of objectives, so each chapter either has just fluff text on it and explaining how some dark journey into an undermountain or something like that. And if there's no special rules on there, you have to find that specific space on your map tile that is called a chapter space. Surprise!
And you have to light it.
Well, no, you have to activate it, and depending on what you do on the space, you have to pay with one of the main resources, which is called essence, in the game to activate that. Or if you sealed a monster spawn, which is sort of the starting positions for all the monsters, you pre-light that thing, and then you don't have to spend the essence. But you essentially have to spend the essence to seal that monster spawn.
Yeah.
So that is sort of the repeatable, standard, fair chapter objective that you have to do if nothing else is mentioned. However, there are chapters that specifically say you have to kill 3 monsters to advance to the next chapter, and we don't care what happens, or why. And with that, the chapter space might have a different function. So it says to reach the next chapter, kill 3 monsters, and the chapter space now heals you for 4 hearts or something like that. So it has an alternate use. Apart from advancing the chapter. And so you progress through these chapter cards, how many you chose, until you reach the end, which either is sort of a bit anticlimactic in terms of you have just to escape, so explore another tile and escape. Or some of these scenarios come with dedicated end pieces. So
with an end game.
They are only one-sided and have a very specific piece on there, like a chanting circle with monks that you have to kill to end the game and prevent evil from reaching our world, or some other things. I think there's 2 or 3 base scenarios, an exclusive Kickstarter scenario, and the bonus scenario.
There's scenario 1 and 2, bonus and extended.
So there was no 3?
No.
Okay. So the base game would be 1 and 2,
and just to jump in, each of the scenarios has about 10 chapters. So when you do not play the whole scenario but leave out a couple of chapters, you could easily change things up and increase the replayability there.
Yeah.
So it's fine just to have 2 for the beginning, because the game really takes quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Especially when you play the first couple of rounds, because
Oh, yeah.
there's just so many things that you have to reread and recheck. I don't know how long we played with 4 people, but with just the 2 of us, the test rounds, we played scenario 1, chapters 1, 2, and 4, which was claimed to be less than an hour. And we played it for 3 just because we had to read up on so many things. Although we watched the how to play videos and we read the rule book before we started playing. But the more often we play the game, the quicker you get. You just remember much more things. So I think at one point you really can play the chapter with less than 1 hour.
Yeah, I think I can't really pinpoint that on one specific single thing, but on several occasions I would have wished for
a FAQ.
for the the FAQ is out now.
Oh,
but
cool.
I would have wished for a better reference sheet. So the game comes at the back of the menu comes with a reference sheet which explains to you what each tile does, if you interact with it, how certain rules are. But then there are little obscure rules that you pick up a card and then it shows a symbol with a number in it, and the rule for that is hidden somewhere on a page in between some other things. And yes, technically you have read that, but
you don't remember everything.
I think
it's a very dense game.
I think
you have to remember a lot.
I think the game would have profited from a reference sheet which might cover 2 pages instead of the one that it does, but shows every kind of symbol or specific marker you might encounter in the game. Now,
or just those things with the walls and the doors and the barriers that it's not on the back. You have to read all over again. But on the other hand, I can't. We seldomly play a game that is out like brand new, where there is no FAQ and no other groups of people did test playing and put together like a forum or talk about it on the net. So we did not, or we were not able to use the internet as much with questions for games as we do normally. So
and on that account, huge props to the guys who are making the game or who made the game, because I went on to the Board Game Geek forum and they've been really active in there, explaining every question everybody had, and then since we don't seem to be the only ones with a problem there, followed the advice of some other players who said, hey, maybe you can compile these into a meaningful FAQ, which they did. And after 2 or 3 plays, I guess we are at the point where it plays smoothly. You certainly wanna, if you're playing this game, and it is fun. If you really like a difficult challenge, and we didn't even talk about what different tiles are there. But you can essentially search for equipment. The equipment system, your inventory system itself, has a mechanic where you combine things. You essentially duct tape a spare to a gun, and now you have a spare that can shoot, and some other interesting things going on there. And it is very challenging, and therefore very rewarding if you manage to beat the game. However, you may want to either invest the time and play it 2 or 3 times to bump against all those rules questions that you have to find out maybe online. And then again, once you have been doing that, you can easily, I guess, get someone into playing this game. If you have someone at the table who already knows all the rules and has a quick answer for everything, I can see that game being played in the time it recommends. I think
definitely. And it's also a difference, sorry to cut you off there, if you play with 2 or with 4 players. We played the scenario, the shortened version of scenario 1 with just the 2 of us, and then also with our gaming group, and we were way faster with 4 people. So that's also a difference, how many players are at the table. So the game is for 4 people max. So that's actually, I feel it's the golden number with that game, because although you roll more for monsters, there can only be a certain number of them on the board, but you have more characters to fight them. And that also quickens the game a lot when you're 2 people and you're stumbling around the dungeon and trying to fight everybody off and also achieve all the other goals that might be on the chapter cards. It's a bit more difficult. So I think one thing that you can try to do is everybody plays 2 characters when you're just 2 people, just to speed up the game as well.
Yeah.
So you control 2 characters on the board, just like with Mice and Mystic, for example.
It might be interesting hearing some of their insight into testing the difficulty scaling, because it seems odd to me that no matter if you're playing alone, which is actually possible with the game, or up to 4 people, it's always a maximum of 4 monsters on the board.
Yeah.
And the only difference in terms of difficulty scaling for different players is at the end of each turn, each player rolls once and sees if a new monster spawns. So if you're playing alone, the maximum amount of monsters you can spawn per round is 1. If you're playing with 4, the potential amount of monsters you can spawn is 4.
But if there's already 4 on the board or 2...
You advance the sort of
math.
Time track. So there's a mechanic in there which escalates difficulty, and that mechanic goes faster if you have 4 players rolling.
And then the more difficult monsters are first shuffled in, and at one point you lose equipment, right?
The main the point I was getting at is it's a way bigger difference if you're playing alone against 4 monsters than playing 4 people against 4 monsters. And also, it is not always guaranteed that you spawn a monster. So each chapter comes with 2 little numbers. One is the probability for a monster to appear, and the other one is the probability of a horror event, which is sort of just an event card.
Just to make it even more difficult.
There's, as you can see, there's a lot of little details woven in together, which...
Like I said, it's very dense.
We were also probably doing a very bad job at explaining, but...
hop on over to the Machina Arcana YouTube channel after this. They're actually pretty good videos there about the game, if you're interested and hope for them to be published with a game publisher later this year. So we heard from them they're coming to Essen to Spiel, and I guess they're going for a publisher there. And I would be so happy if that game would be published with, I don't know, Fantasy Flat or whatever. I would really, really be very happy for them if they would achieve that, and to just bring the game to the masses, because it's a really beautiful game. I really love it. It's cool.
That game could have even gone a little bit further and come with real plastic minis. It's very if you're familiar with the Cthulhu stuff that Fantasy Flight is putting out, the Mansions of Madness figurine minis, that would certainly fit in there as well. And the scale doesn't fit, but you could probably reuse some of those minis in there. But I mean, for what it is a fun game, and since our gaming group prefers a tough challenge, we get frustrated. Especially we too get frustrated if we're playing alone. But in that group of 4, there's a different dynamic there, and we actually enjoy getting our asses handed to us by a game, which makes it us to bring out the game even more.
Because the week after we have to try again. We have to beat the game. So also it's I don't know why, and I think it's not rational, but I'm more pissed off if just the both of us lose against the game than if we lose against the game with the four of us.
Because
so I
then-
don't know why.
I know, it's because then it's half your fault, and if we're playing with 4 people, you have 3 others to blame, so it's only a quarter.
No,
of
it's
your-
not a blaming thing. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's because the guys are so funny when they lose. They really make good jokes. We have a very funny gaming group, and the guys are hilarious when they see that we're losing, and one pun after another. Maybe that's why I don't mind as much when we lose in a 4-player game with us.
So you're saying I'm way
No,
too
no, no, no,
grumpy to...
no, no, no. I'm the grumpy one, I guess. I'm really, really bad
So
at losing.
my humor is not enough to pull you back from the
Oh,
grumpy
well.
space.
Yeah. No, the thing is, what did Sticks say? One of us, G, was also in the Destiny beta tester group with the guys. They were playing all of the last week, and he was losing really badly. And Sticks said, "Well, when he saw that he was losing so badly, he got gamer Tourette." And I think that's what we get in a 2-player game when we play board games.
Yeah.
I think it's valid. It's a disease.
Yeah.
We have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So last night, by the way, we had gaming night as well with the guys. But we didn't play Machina Arcana because we had
Different guys.
one other player with us, and G had to work, so he couldn't come. But we played Sentinels of the Multiverse and won there easily.
Yeah, and,
It was pretty good and solid rounds.
And Camel Cup.
Camel Cup,
Which again,
Oh.
fun game with four people, and
it was
especially
really good.
it's now we know it's fun in a family environment,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also fun with friends if you just can trash talk them for making way
Choices.
out of line bets and winning them without having any right to do so.
Yes, that was really fun. Then we played Splendor and Love Letter, and later on that night, just 3 people of us, we played the Blue Dragon,
Blue Dragon Inn.
and yeah, that's what the
A
English
game about drinking fantastical beers and
other stuff.
other spirits and keeping your money while not passing out, which is fun.
And I think it was great that I was the illusionist. I gave you the illusion of winning, but then took it away.
I think
Oh,
it was
I played the pink
it was a great game, except for I was not drunk, despite that being a drinking game.
Yeah, we already said that we are going to buy the Red Dragon Inn when we're at the Highlander Games Shop, I guess next month or something, for the gaming weekend that we will have with 8 people end of October. Because we decided it would be great to really make a drinking game of that, to have like one... like half a shot, you have to thin it up with water, otherwise you are
Half a shot of iced tea, because we're nerds and we don't drink alcohol.
Speak for yourself. So we will play that game at that set weekend with shots. Whenever you really have to drink something, you have to drink a shot. But you can't do like 2 centiliters of vodka or whatever, otherwise you're drunk in like 2 rounds. But like turns, not even rounds, but we have to thin it with a bit of water, and then we can play that.
I could see that happening is what we're doing is that we have different kinds of spirits, and it's either beer or wine. And if you get a drink with an alcohol rating of 2 or something, then you get a beer or wine shot. But if you get the 4, you have to take the real
Vodka
hard
or
shot.
whiskey.
But
or
if you
whatever.
if you draw water, you
You
have
drink
to
water.
pick the water shot. And there's a special rule, because we don't like living. No one's allowed to leave the table for going to the restroom. Wait, if you may leave, but then you lose.
Yeah, you're out of the round. And when you start the game, not everybody only gets his character, but also a tiny bucket where they can puke in.
A
No?
tiny bucket, okay.
Well, I don't know for how long you want to play that game that night, but ooh. If you're lucky and only draw beer and wine, 2 centiliters of wine it's like a sip, so that's not much.
Yeah. And I think that was our gaming week.
We're looking at the gaming
I see.
shelf. Yeah, well, the two of us played Carcassonne Castle during the week, and we quirkled a lot, and he was again very frustrated. But on Friday, my mom was at our house because she had to take the car
The Quirkle Challenge.
No, she quirkled before.
No, I thought she came here because of the Quirkle Challenge.
No,
Huh.
because she had to bring the car for repair, and the repair shop is very close to our home, so she came over, had a coffee, and we chatted, and we played Quirkle, the two of us. He was working, and she got better than the weekend we had at their house, but believe it or not, it was the first time ever that I was able to double Quirkle. And I had a row like this and a row like this, and I could connect them and get 24 points for one tile. And my mom was really sad about that because she missed destroying the Quirkle possibility for me. And then he said, well, what to do? And looked at me. This is not gonna happen when we play.
Yeah.
He's like, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's easy.
Oops.
It's easy preying upon the noobs. I don't think.
She's not a noob.
I don't think.
She's a gamer mom.
She's a Quirkle noob.
She played 5 times now. She's not a noob. And she, in the last round, we made fun because she was sitting at Daniel's side of the desk and I was sitting at my spot. And then at the last round, she said, we're going to switch the places now. And for the longest time, she was winning that round. And then I had the double Quirkle. Pretty much, very, very much at the end of the game. So maybe it is because of your chair. And we're not going to change up the sitting arrangements when we play. But anyways, we played a bit of Love Letter this week. Not maybe 1 or 2 rounds, not much. Just the two of us. We quirkled more, and that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna quirkle as the reward for me editing tons of videos.
Which has to happen now.
The editing, or
Yes.
can I have lunch first? I'm kind of hungry.
No.
I'm just gonna take the food.
Goodbye.
Do the proper goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
No, thanks for watching, guys, and listening to us rambling about certain things. I hope you all had a very good week and enjoyed, and take good care. Maybe you're on vacation, and then enjoy your vacation. Otherwise, we're gonna see you next Sunday. And until then, have a good time.
Goodbye.
Bye.